do you want to say stop now?
It's not the thought of the
Ola,
money.
how do you want
It's
to tell?
It's the thought of the problem that money will solve.
But the thing about it is that the truth about it is that when you think about it, most times when that money comes and you need to solve that problem, you forget that problem, and that's how Ponzi scheme works. They give you that. Yes, because why? You know why you went there in the first place. You knew that you needed to solve a problem, and then you got the return back. But you are so greedy. That is why greed is a big sin in the Bible. Don't be greedy. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of To Be Quite Honest, and I remain your ever beautiful host, Norma, and with me I have Big Ben.
Hello.
And today we are talking to victims, and I'm sure you're wondering what I mean by victims. Well, have you ever heard send me this money and get this in return, or 30% increase every month? We are talking to you people today. Now, we're not calling you victim because I'm sure all of us, one way or the other, have obviously fallen victim to such schemes. And today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic. If it sounds too good to be true, how to spot a Ponzi scheme. And with us, we have a very, very, very special guest. You know, all our guests are very special, but I'm sure this episode will touch a lot of us. Yeah. So I will allow Big Ben introduce our guest and we'll get right on.
All right. Hi, Norma. Looking good as always.
Thank you.
Today, like she said, we have a very special guest with us. And we're discussing something that affects everybody.
Everybody.
Even if you haven't been affected, your friend, your family member, your church member, someone around you has definitely fallen prey. And to do justice to this topic, we are inviting none other than Oladele. So she's a CFA charter holder. She's a personal finance coach. And she's the founder of the Money Wit Club.
Ooh.
And later on, she'll tell us about that after answering our questions about Ponzi schemes.
Yes.
Now, before we even get into all of this, I did some research, right? I wanted to find out why should we even discuss this?
Yeah.
So I looked up, I went online and I found the following statistics interesting. So I'll just read them out.
Ben came with receipts.
Yes. I dug and I almost struck gold while digging for this. So first of all, according to Securities and Exchange Commission and NDIC, NDIC is the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, right? Nigerians between 2020 and 2023 have lost over 300 billion naira.
No.
To Ponzi schemes. Ponzi schemes like MMM, like MBA Forex, like Chimak. So if you know they went to your money, I'm sure you can relate. Now, there's a particular quote from that report I'd like to read. It says, these schemes target middle-income earners and retirees and they are promising them quick returns of 30 to 100% within days or even weeks. That's the first statistic. The second is from KPMG. Now, KPMG Nigeria has a report out there saying that 60% of scam victims are aged 25 to 45. Well, mind you, Nigeria's population is about 230 million. And out of that 230 million, 70% are young people, right? So KPMG is now telling us that this young professionals, entrepreneurs between the ages of 25 and 45 are about the most affected demography. Now, two quotes from the report reads, these individuals often lack investment literacy. That's the victims. They often lack investment literacy, but are hungry for wealth creation. And secondly, the second quote reads, the rising cost of living and high unemployment drive desperate investment decisions.
I agree.
So if you've made very desperate, irrational investment decisions, blaming cost of living, we see you. The third statistic, this is according to CBN Financial Literacy Survey. It says that only 1 in 4 Nigerians understand financial concepts. Only about 26% of Nigerian adults are financially literate. And a quote from that reads, Ponzi schemes thrive in environments where people don't understand what a sound investment looks like.
I agree.
And the fourth one says, this is according to Nigerian Communications Commission, right, NCC. And this one says that social media is the number 1 recruitment tool for scammers. So these days, we wake up from the minute we wake up till we go to bed, we're on our phones, we're on social media.
Yeah.
So NCC is letting us know that 75% of financial scams were initiated on platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Instagram.
Telegram.
So
I think it's supposed to be Telegram. WhatsApp. WhatsApp would not allow you
Telegram.
send like high,
WhatsApp.
like heavy documents.
I agree.
You see that Telegram?
I agree.
They need to shut down that app.
I agree. So Telegram, WhatsApp, and IG. So this just goes to show that a lot of people have been affected.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot of money has gone down the drain. A lot of money
Crazy.
has moved from the accounts of hardworking Nigerians, young people, young professionals, young business people. Monies have moved from their pockets, from their bank accounts, into the accounts of, some scammers somewhere.
Yeah.
So, our first question to Ola today: what is a Ponzi scheme?
A Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
Before I even start, the first thing is thank you for having me. I'm excited
You're
to be
welcome.
here. And
We
it's
love
such
having
an
you.
interesting topic.
Very.
And it's always timely.
Yeah.
So to your question, a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is basically a setup where there is no original asset backing collection of cash. So what literally the promoter is doing is saying, somebody comes, gives me money. I promise him 30%. The next person that comes, I take from that person's money to pay the next person's 30%. And the game is that I get as many people to keep coming into that scheme to the point where it is big enough for me to shut it down and go.
And jackpot. Interesting.
That's the easiest way to understand it. So for most people, there will be a story around it. This is what we are doing. They'll tell a story, but it's not validated. Like you mentioned, social media. I mean, I can create a website, put a picture that is not mine, identity theft, do all that, and you say, oh, this is my website, go there, and people would believe.
Yeah.
The major thing is that because they are looking for money, like you said, everything looks clean, looks packaged well.
Yeah.
I follow
Some
you.
even go to go and open like offices.
Yes, open offices, have promoters, have people that
Sign influencers too.
Sign influencers,
Jesus Christ.
But because we realize now that a lot of things are done virtually, so there is a level of trust on virtual platforms. Meaning, if I see you long enough, I'm beginning to feel like I know you.
And if you have the right people like influencers,
Yes, and then
influencers
once
just want their money.
Yes,
so they
and
will
once
do
I
whatever.
ID you, I connect you with someone, connect you with another person, there's that mind share that you create. After a while, I open my pockets to you. That's literally what a Ponzi scheme is.
Just a personal question. Have you ever fallen for any Ponzi scheme?
Never.
How can you be
Have
asking?
you ever fallen for any?
Never, Ben. Because honestly, I have the saying at the back of my head that how easy it is to rise is how easy it is to fall.
Yeah.
But do you know that for some people, I know some people that trade Ponzi schemes. Or they say
They trick it.
they trade it, meaning
Trade it.
it's just starting. Before they get to that place where it's a lot.
99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner because it's to
I'm
catch up
saying
with
that
them.
because it's not just because I'm a finance person.
Yeah.
These finance people actually understand the game well enough to know how to game it, right? So it's not just because I'm a finance person that I don't get involved in Ponzi scheme. It's a personal decision because some people actually do.
Okay. So, Ben, have you?
Oh, well.
Well,
Unfortunately, I can't answer no like both of you. But it wasn't any of the recent ones. It was when MMM first came out. Remember, I was working in a bank at the time, and a lot of my colleagues had put money in it.
How can bankers?
Everybody-
that's what I'm
bankers.
saying.
Everybody kept telling me, Ben, how far more? I don't collect money. And I think it was 40% at the time, MMM. Right, so I did it first month. I think I put like maybe 50K or thereabout. I got my capital plus the promised return, but that was it.
Yeah.
After that, I never.
No, but do we think that apart from the 30%, because 30% is very enticing. Like I hear,
Monthly.
I put money and I get 30% back. Do you think that banks or like all these financial institutions can come up with like a legit investment that can give us 30% return?
That doesn't
Or is it like a
robbery.
Ponzi scheme tactic?
So-
It can never happen.
So the thing to answer that question, let's quantify it. 30% monthly. Let's use 100 naira.
Okay.
If you give me 100 naira, and at the end of the month I give you 30 naira this month, 30 naira the next month, by the end of the year I would have given you 300 naira on that your 100 naira. The question is, as a bank, what am I doing that would make me give you 300 naira from your 100 naira? By the time I get to 300, 3 times, that's 19 naira.
Yeah.
I'm almost crossing. By the fourth month, I've crossed, right? After that, the thing that is generating that money
has to come down.
Why can't I pay you back your 100 and be using my own money to
be generating?
Exactly.
Do you understand?
And enjoy it alone.
So when they really say that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. It's because people are not stopping to think that why are they dashing me money? What are they doing that will produce this consistently?
Yeah.
You can have that, I have this particular project I need to fund. This is the bill I've given them. I just need this cash.
Yeah.
So it is clear. But it will be, you can see the end.
Time frame.
But that you would take money on end, 30% in a year. That's like 4 times money back. On what? And you say it's not low, it's not high risk.
Extremely high risk.
That even leads us to our next question. How do we then spot these red flags?
The first thing is that if it's too good to be true, it most likely is. That's the first one. I think we've already discussed that. The second thing is there are some times when they package it and you can't understand what they are saying. Now, understand with businesses, when you are investing in a business, the fundamental thing is I make clothes. You look at the clothes that I make, who would want to buy it?
Yeah.
Right? How many people want to buy it? How are you positioned so that plenty of people will see you so they will buy? There's logic, right, to that investment. The moment somebody tells you something like, I'm producing this bottle, but what I'm doing is, what you're doing is you're giving me money to produce the bottle. But then I'll not help you sell the bottle after I produce it for you. Are you a manufacturer? Are you a wholesaler? Are you a retailer? Who are you? The people that we know that manufacture, after they manufacture, for them to make their profit, they sell to the wholesaler. So why would you be manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, and then you're not dashing me profit on top? Does it make sense? It doesn't actually make sense. Why would I be dashing you money? Why would you sit down? Will you allow me sit down and say that I will do nothing, not contribute anything?
Like you're not doing anything, just drop your money and go.
And then you will when you sell on the retail end, not that I sold to a wholesaler and I got my money back. Retail end in the shop, one shop, you give me one shop to go and check for your product, right? And then you dash me money and say this is profits. It does not make sense. So I think the next thing is it does not make sense. When it doesn't make sense, when you can't fathom why this person would be doing this, then that's another thing. Then another thing also is when they create lofty ideas. There was one I heard that they are doing investment, they are tracking Warren Buffett's strategy in America. Something. And I'm like, And then the people that are tracking, and then this Warren Buffett that are tracking, did he tell you that in 1 year he's making 4 times return? Meaning that you give him $100, he'll make 400 in 1 year. So when you hear these things, just stop. You know, sometimes what happens is that the thought of the money makes your brain.
How do you want to say stop now?
It's not the thought of the money.
How do you want to tell?
It's the thought of the problem that money will solve.
But the thing about it is that, the truth about it is that when you think about it, most times when that money comes and you need to solve that problem, you forget that problem. And that's how Ponzi scheme works. They give you that. Yes. Because you know why you went there in the first place. You knew that you needed to solve a problem. And then you got the return back. But you are so greedy. That is why greedy is a big sin in the Bible. Don't be greedy.
You know the funniest
Think of the problem.
I know there was one of this, not MMM, there was one, no Spectre. I know someone that built house.
It's a lie.
Built house.
With the...
Yeah, there are people who have actually done...
No, but there was one that my mom's friend fell victim of. I think they said they were doing agriculture, farm.
Yeah.
Something about drop money, you see your return was rice and something farm, this one farm. The woman was getting a lot of money. She was enjoying herself. The first time she put in 1 million, got back 5 million. I said, what type of return is this?
And she didn't bank her. She didn't bank it.
She was even going to meet people that just come. They said I should bring... more people. 25 million, I'll get 75 or something like that. And
when he hits that big place, they'll disappear. And I think that's another cue also. When they say bring more people, that is one of the classic characteristics.
But she's even a big person. So I'm not sure they told her to bring more people. But I think the level they gave her, the big money they gave her to bring. So like, okay, let me just bring my friends in and then eventually pay them like small profit. I'm sure she will not tell her friends that this is the profit she wants to get. Just give me 3 million. Give me 2 million. And we're talking about my mother's age. So 3 million, they have it in the bank. Just give me 3 million. By the time you gather 10 friends and collect 3 million from them, it's 30 million.
30 million.
And it's 3 million. When you get your money back, you say, I'll pay you interest, 2 million. Well, people that have 3 million sitting in the bank, give them 2 extra million. Why not? So take the 3 million now. She had to start explaining to everybody that, this is what they said they would give everybody. Some people had to let the money go. And then some people were like, no problem, I'll give you whenever you can, pay me back. But it gets to the point where, again, down to greed. You have a problem. You know you need this money to solve a problem. And then you get the money back. And then eventually, when the money comes back, you're now like, this one is plenty. Let me put back again. And sometimes some people even take out the profit and put back what they've
Which is discipline.
It is discipline, but I think, like Ben said, he got his profit and said, I beg you, who dig this pit for me?
So my next question for Ola would be, looking at, from my experience over the years, all kinds of people have fallen for Ponzi schemes.
Of course.
Especially, let me not say especially, actually. Well, educated, uneducated, everybody has fallen for it. So my question is, why do smart people still fall for this?
Honestly.
I remember when I told you guys I worked in a bank, then you were like bankers. I mean, there are so many bankers that even fell for CBEX.
Yeah.
Right? So why do smart people keep falling for these things?
There are 2 parts, and I think you've highlighted one. The first one is the economy, right? Pressure. The second one is the fact that people cannot see how they can tie where they are with where they want to get to. And that is a major thing where people don't understand. And I mean, let me just put it out here, right? Important. You work from 20 to 60.
Yeah.
And then you will retire.
Yeah.
Most people, especially bankers, you will retire. But do you know that it's the money you make between 20 and 60 that's supposed to fund you from 60 to that long life you are praying for?
And how much is the pension that they actually collect?
And pension. So that it cannot be pension alone you are thinking about. But a lot of people do not know how to manage and multiply the money they are making to make them say that at 60, at 70, I'm sure I would have something to make me comfortable, right? So once you don't have that, which is where financial literacy comes in, right? Once you don't have that, it's more like, what can I do right now to gather as much as possible? Because you look at it, everybody's saying prices have gone up, right? But we were saying that 10 years ago, right? And we most likely will still say it in 10 years' time.
True.
So there must be a way. Is that lack of knowledge of that way that makes people just feel like, okay, you know what? This was what is doubling money right now. Maybe this is my big break in life and let me double it. So yeah, there are 2 things. And I mean, that's literally why these conversations need to be had, because a lot of people are sitting or are eating their capital. Like, seriously eating their capital. It might not look like much, but I always give this scenario, right? You have an apple. Imagine I give you an apple. After I finish eating the apple, what do? You throw it away. But a farmer sees that and says, no, please bring that core. Bring it.
It takes
it to the right environment, plants it, gives it time. What happens is that small tree, small seed, becomes a massive tree that we're producing every year. So a lot of people look at that small money that they have. And so just think of that apple as the fruit of your labor. You will eat, but you must keep something aside. If you put it in the bank, inflation will help you make it useless. But if you invest it, so you start off your career at 21 and you start investing, right? I literally have someone who started his career and his dad told him 25,000 every month, put it into the stock market. There are some stocks, we're looking at stock in my community last week. There are some stocks that I bought at 40 Naira in 2018, 2019. It is 1,000 Naira right now. Think about the plus XXX. But people, and just imagine if you were doing that 25K every month. 25K might not look like much, but it compounds, right? But most people don't, this simple thing that I just said, if you tell them stocks, they'll say no, they don't like risk. But they would rather do Ponzi scheme. But they'll say, yes, but they'll say they don't have the heart for stocks, but they have the mind for Ponzi schemes.
At least
it's financial literacy is the problem. They don't really understand. Or people were saying, oh, I don't have mind for stocks, but I can do agric. And I'm like, you don't have mind for stocks, but you can do agric.
Agric, that is something.
Agric is so risky.
Yeah.
So
Because
just
what
shows
happens
they
if
don't understand? So there's a part where I can't see how where I am can get me to where I'm going. So let me just
Jump on anything that looks like it
you
can
just
take me
don't
there.
know.
That's actually very, like, that point.
Yeah.
I can't see where I am, so I need to,
And
like,
I won't lie to you, that's a stark reality facing a lot of young people.
everybody.
You know how you
Not a
want
lot
to,
of people,
you know,
Ben. Especially if you're in Nigeria.
Well, not everybody, because some
No,
people
it's global.
some people
Okay,
have
yeah,
it easy.
true.
Yeah, globally.
It's global.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
global. It's global.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, I
Nigerians
remember
don't have
I
that.
was in the UK last year and I was in UK the year before. And I was just walking on the street and I'm like, man, the way prices have gone up. Forget, we are the ones that always shout our problems out.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not on social media like us. But the way prices have gone up globally, it is a problem. It's a big problem everywhere.
I went to the same UK. I went to Primark.
Primark is not cheap.
Let's not go there.
Primark is not
That was
cheap.
their former
Let's not go
reputation.
there. When we used to travel when I was younger, Primark was like bad
If
as
you want to
bad.
fill your box.
Bad as bad. You have Next, H&M, all those ones that
They're
were
not
even
cheap,
affordable.
They're not.
I entered Next.
80
I
pounds.
said, no, this is for the rich people.
Yes.
Rich. You got to be rich to
It's
get
not,
there.
everything has gone up. So
It's
it's
bad.
a global problem. So
Yeah,
yes.
I agree. So how would you advise our audience to, like, what are the ways they can use to vet investments?
Yeah, before
Okay.
jumping on that.
Yeah.
That's a valid one. So before I even go into that question, I just want to highlight that there's Ponzi scheme and there's an investment that went bad. Those are two things.
Yeah.
So, and it's important to recognize that because a lot of times what happens is that a genuine investment goes bad for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you start dragging the person.
Yeah.
Like, where's my money?
Yeah.
Right? Investments in themselves have a risk. So imagine if you were doing cryptocurrency and then CBN now comes up and says that every bank, no bank should bank with you because you are in the cryptocurrency space at that time, right? The money people put into you, that's gone, right?
So that's not like you can't pay them back.
Yes, now because you're supposed to, you put capital into a business to sell to people. CBN now says you cannot, but nobody can bank with you. What will happen now?
Yeah. We'll move elsewhere.
You move elsewhere. And if you
Okay,
can't
but the
move
capital, come and share it amongst the people.
it won't be there. It won't be there anymore. That's what I'm trying. So imagine if you use the capital to
Get off office space.
get office space.
Do you know?
Do you understand? Get office space, buy AC, buy this, buy that. The capital has gone. But it wasn't your fault, no. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's a bad investment, an investment that went bad. So understand that the general nature of investment is that you are getting a reward for taking risk.
Yeah.
Right? So understand that because people also, once money goes off, they just call it Ponzi scheme. That means the person stole my money. Right? So understand that. But when it comes to Ponzi scheme and what you should be looking out for, does it make sense? In fact, before even go to that, does this make sense? Take it to somebody who is not vetted, who is not invested in this.
Yeah.
Because your ear is not really hearing because you are thinking about money.
Yes.
So if you really want to hear the truth, carry it to somebody that is far from the situation, right? And tell them that this person is saying this, is saying that, is saying that. What do you think?
What if you take it and take that offer to a third party? The third party looks at it and third party is probably even older because you feel like, oh, this guy is older. He has seen things. He's probably more knowledgeable than I am. And the third party now tells you, my brother, Nigeria of today, anything where you see where people multiply your money.
Then you don't get better person for your circle.
I was about to say, it's your choice.
Change your circle.
Do you understand? It's your choice, or you chose who to go to. Meaning that in your heart, you know. So if you want the truth, you will go to the person that will tell you the truth, right? Obviously, I mean, you can't say that you want to go to, let's say your mom is not educated, she's in the village, or she has and you just tell her, they said I should bring this and you should bring it. Of course, she would tell you to go.
Yeah.
But you should go to the person that's follow who knows.
God knows that even if he's legit, and I go and meet my mother, she will tell me, don't do it. Everything is don't do. Don't do it, oh. Don't do it, oh. Let me first ask this, my friend. Don't do. Our first response is, Don't do it. And once she said that, the way she'll be talking to you, yourself, you'll be wondering, that, but this person has given me, I'm just even running it by you. She say, oh, yeah, do now. If you spoil, don't come and beat me. Oh. So you already have that. My mom is so used to, don't do it first. Let her go and ask around. Because, of course, she has friends that she just doesn't want to hear that you come back and beg her for anything.
Yeah, but even that asking around, I think that's also instructive, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily need to ask only one person.
Yeah.
Have different views.
Yeah.
The moment people say things from different angles, it begins to sink in, right? So I think that's also instructive.
Yeah.
Every step we take, every way we live should be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. Now, if you're looking for a community that offers all these with infrastructure and the right amenities for you and your family to thrive, look no further than Mixter Africa Estates. Now, Mixter Africa, over the last 20 years, has basically been provided the kind of community, over 15 estates with 5,000 housing units that people have been thriving in. We look forward to welcoming you in one of our Mixter estates.
Like, what's the smartest scam you've seen around, fly around over the years?
To be honest, they are really not that smart.
No, but the one that really shook Nigeria, I think, is MMM.
What was smart about MMM?
It wasn't that they were smart. I said the one that really shook the city. Like we had every state doing MMM.
I don't even think MMM was as skinny as Nospecto. Did you hear of Nospecto that year?
Did you hear of Nospecto?
No. Nospecto was in 2008, 2007.
Really?
It was our parents' generation that did Nospecto.
But Nospecto, how did they then move? Because MMM, why it was easy for people to fall victim? There was social media. There was all this Telegram, WhatsApp. It was easy to share. So how was it then in our parents' time when there was no social media?
It was word of mouth.
Word of mouth. But that word of mouth, it went far.
That's crazy.
It went money.
That is
just
crazy.
about money.
That is crazy.
So there were people, and then the way. So there are differences in the demography, right? So young people are getting impacted by MMM and co, right? But there's that energy. There's still that. But imagine people in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
People in their 50s dropping money.
Yeah.
And Nospecto, I think Nospecto, one lot was, if I'm not wrong, 300K.
Then.
Yes.
And 300K then was the
Yes, if I'm not wrong. It was money. Like, it was a lot of money that year. So you can imagine the crop of people that it was going around in their circles. It wasn't your 1K, 2K, 5K type thing, right? And so it shook people.
Wow.
Like, it shook people. But I know someone that builds house.
With Nospecto.
Like, when you collect the money, people are doing loud. No, I bought off-plan property. Held the money until they finished. And then after they finished, the thing shut down. So even their capital was there, but
they earned something.
Yeah,
but I wanna ask a question. What was the difference between Yahoo and Ponzi scheme? Okay, what's the difference?
There's a difference. Now, in this context, even though you are the one making money, someone else is scamming you. Yahoo is that you are the one scamming someone. So it depends on the view. For the person doing the Ponzi scheme, is the same thing as Yahoo to them. He's the one doing, that's his own version of Yahoo. Exactly. But for you are in quote off quote the victim. But to be honest, though, right now I've stopped being sympathetic to people and this victim thingy when it comes to
Yahoo scam and all of that.
Because if you're on social media, you should have seen something to tell you what a Ponzi scheme is. I understand there's financial pressure, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I believe...
But you should know that once you make something quickly, it would go the same way. Like, you can't
bank it. Don't believe it's going to continue forever.
Exactly.
I think that's a major thing. People, what you find is that they do the first 50K. They go in, they come out. 50K became 90K. That means 90K will become what?
Yeah.
That means if I put 1 million, what would it be?
Yeah.
That's what happens to people. So it's not the first one. And to be honest, I'm not saying that you should go into it because it is not a sustainable way to go. And you don't know when it's going to drop on your head. So I'm not even saying go for it. But I'm saying even if you decide to, because you will still go if you are inclined. and you are watching me.
Yeah.
Yes, you will still go.
Nothing will say now will change your mind.
Yes, until it burns you to a point where you are gentle. But you will still go. But think about it like this. At the minimum, bank your profits. It's just like a trader. Like I started my career off as a trader, right? There have literally been times when I took a position. I was watching my position enter the money. It entered the money, and I was saying, no, the money is not yet enough for me to bank the profit. And the policy came out the following day and it took that profit into a loss. And I had to close that sweet position of yesterday at a loss. What does that tell you? It means that paper profit you are looking at, if you don't hold it and
And do something quick.
Is not profit. Right? So don't be so greedy that you don't bring out anything from it. And just keep putting to the point where, because I know someone who was saving for a car, it was CBEX that hit her because her whole car, imagine saving for a car for 2 years. You gather the money for a car and put it. It was like the final push. The remaining money on top.
Money.
Wait, but this thing works like you put let's say you put 50K, they give you 90K. So you got your 50K plus 30K, Abby?
40.
Oh, sorry, 40K. So 5 plus 4. You get your 40. So you put back. So I did say if you put back 90K now, you get a certain amount again. That's how it works. So for every time you put in capital, you get your capital and your return.
Yes.
So if say I put 500K and they give me 900K, I've gotten 400K in return. So but because I've gotten 900K, they will not come back and tell me that 900K.
They will not come back and tell you.
You're the one that will think about it.
You're the one that would even decide to put.
Yeah. So they won't advise that.
They will not advise you again.
By that,
when you see the
so
400.
you think of 900K.
So why not just for me to put back 500? Like why don't I just stick?
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
It's better for you to stick to that set. What is wrong with getting 400 all the time?
But human emotion, human nature is what they are trading on. The fact that you will sit down and you do the math. And then even if you do that for 6 months, right? And you're just collecting 400. No, you're just collecting 400K. One day you will tell yourself that, if I had done 900 that time, the money would have been.
Yeah.
So you'll be talking to you. They won't do anything. You'll be the one talking.
You'll be the one advising yourself.
You're the one advising yourself. That's where the problem is. And that's where
you go
the discipline of a trader comes in. Because in a dealing room, you have your controls. By the time you bank your profit, cut your loss. Once you do that enough times and you see the benefits of it, nobody would tell you to just be going steady. But you see that I want to go from 900 to 2 million. It's a good job.
On a serious note now, I would just like to ask, because there are people who will be watching this and are thinking, you people have yabbed us, we've lost money to MMM, we've lost money to CBEX. So, but what are like the mindset shifts, from your experience as a trader and as a finance person in general, that you think younger people need to apply a lot more when making investment decisions, and even while in those
investments,
even in the investments themselves, mindset that help you, detach from or take your emotions out, such that you're able to, make very good calls or good judgments.
Yeah. I think the very first thing is to surround yourself with the right people.
Okay.
Because to a very large extent, these things are peer-driven, right? I think that's the first thing. So profile your social circle.
Yeah.
And know the ones you talk money with and the ones you don't talk money with, because in the end, you would level out, right? The second mind shift is that there's something called compounding. Especially when you are young, you have time on your side, right? Even at 10% return. So there's a simple example I use of, I think it's like 50K every month. If you say 50K every month, at the end of the year, you will have 600K.
Yeah.
At the end of 10 years, you would have 6 million.
Yeah.
But if you invest at 10%, that same 10 years, that same 50K, you would have 10 million instead of 6.
6 million.
At 10%, though, now Nigeria now, we're at 2017. So that's like times 2 of that. So from that 6 million, you'll be getting towards 20, right? If you do that.
Yeah.
Now, that 50K, you know that 50K, as you grow at work, eventually become 75, eventually become 100 in that same 10-year space. So there's something called compounding that just respect it. The way to respect it is, I put my money in this. When I get that money, don't eat it. Reinvest it. Now, what the real problem, like I said, is that people can't see the connection between where they are and where they want to get to. So if you can comfortably sit down and see how to connect those dots and see that if I go jejely, I will still get there. Then people would calm down. Another thing also is that people just assume that the economic situation we are in is special, right? When I started work, exchange rate was 80 to 90. I think it was when I was working that it crossed 100. We're still here, it got to 360. Yeah. That is 3 times, Abi. We got to 600, 500 2 years ago. We are now at 1.5. That's 3 times. Yeah. It's the same 3 times. But people assume like it's special because it's your experience. But it's not special because it is economic cycles. Right? Such that you just feel like, everything is crashing. Let me just become desperate. And you don't realize that you are 25, you are 30. You still have years ahead of you. So that desperation is not sustainable. At some point, you will burn out.
You can't be desperate for 30 years.
You can't be desperate for it. You have to calm down and do smart things, right? Smart, stable stuff. So those are the kind of mindsets that people need to. And I mean, these are why these conversations are important. Because whilst it is your reality, you know how much you were spending on this 3 years ago, you know how much it is right now. It's your reality, and we're all in shock. Like, there's nobody. I went to the filling station when they increased fuel price, when they took out the valuation, and a guy in a G-Wagon was shouting on the fuel attendant. And we were laughing. Like, if someone in G-Wagon, he was saying, stop. Why is it so much? And the guy was like, why is it so much? I think the guy was crossing 100K and it had not stopped.
Is it not that was to drive G-Wagon?
But you don't know your problem. You think someone in G-Wagon should be able to chest it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But he was legitimately complaining. Yeah. So everybody is impacted, right? Everybody is impacted by it, such that there is no wisdom in you making it out as if it's only you. To a point where you are now not able to calm down and think far. So it's a mindset shift, right? Because it's not easy to do. But I think this is why these sessions are here, for you to understand that, see, everybody's in it, number one. There's no, the life would reward the person that makes the best decisions under pressure. And time will tell. So...
So it's dawning on me, because we've had this kind of conversations, about financial literacy with different people, right? And it's just coming home now that the very little concepts we learned even as kids are really the concepts that can see you through life very well.
Yeah, they don't teach us this in
far,
school.
patience is a virtue. It's still very valid.
Everywhere.
Anytime, any day. We will leave this world and it will still be valid.
It will.
Because if you embrace patience and understand that at 25, why am I this desperate?
Yes.
The economy is bad, but it's not bad for only me. Do you understand? There's a whole 230 million people that are going through this.
Honestly.
8 billion, actually.
The whole 8 billion, actually.
Like, funniest thing is that today while I was driving here, I was speaking to my mom, right? And she was just telling me of how, like, just discussing, like, her friends, something. We're just talking about different things. And she was like that, no, ma. Me, sometimes I'll be sitting and I'll be asking God, why me? But when her friends called her today, what they were telling her, like, everybody is going through a lot. She just wants to go home and go and lie down. Because the problems that, like, what her friends are going through, sometimes we tend to victimize ourselves.
Yes.
We tell ourselves, my own is too bad. My own is bad. God, what is it?
Compare yourself with people who you know nothing about
exactly. Like, you will not say, one is bad. God. Or maybe one day the way you know big boys, you go out to those big boys, one day they bore you. You come and say,
sleep.
Why did you look at this champagne? They bought this one. You too, you'll be thinking, God, why did I not? Why can't I just be like, let me ask this big boy what he's doing? Let me just get there. But you don't know the pain and the sleepless nights they went through to get to that place. And then you're victimizing yourself and making it hard for yourself. So to say, when my mom was saying, I was just like, God, this person is really going through it. Because the situation we're talking about for the friends, like 2 different people, there were 2 different people we're talking about. And she was like that she's also going through her own, but when those ones hit her with their own problems, she was like, God is actually okay. God is good to me and my family. Like, I'm grateful. it takes one experience to put you in reality that your reality is actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be complaining to my husband. My husband will say, "No, ma, God, just stop complaining first. There are people on the road. They don't have where to sleep."
Yeah.
And me, I'll be thinking like, what is my own business with the people that are on the road? I'm telling you my own problems. You are telling me about the people that are on the road. Don't I know that there are people on the road? But it takes one person close to you to understand that, Omo,
It's very
you're actually not the victim. You're just going through life. And it's okay to go through life.
Yeah.
So for people who have actually lost money to these scams, right after they realize, okay, I've been scammed, what next for them? What do you advise them to do?
Go and make more money now. If you
Make
now
more
decide
money.
what to do, there's another subject you want to go for.
But do you think there's like any regulation body that can help?
So you have to understand how regulation works. The policies you see right now, I was in banking at a point where we will write letter to central bank that this thing is not working. We recommend this. Central bank would tell you to send your recommendation for the policy. Then they would review it, blah, blah, send out exposure draft to the whole market, and then they will now make it a policy. So what usually happens is that the problem comes before the policy. Most times.
Yeah.
So SEC, for example, issued new laws and says, okay, this can be prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. It's signed into law. But do you know how many years it took before they could get to that point? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So always
So if there's
understand
no
that
problem.
regulation is usually behind the smart people. Do you get? They will see something and now address it with regulation. It comes after.
So there has to be a problem for them to be regulation body on it.
It's either a problem that they are seeing somewhere else, it's coming here, or a problem that is already here.
And they're
right?
trying to solve.
So whilst the regulators have their role to play, but their roles are more of behind after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, you prosecute, but your money has gone. After you prosecute the person, doesn't mean that if you shake this guy that has bought 20 cars, you can produce everybody's money.
No way.
Do you understand?
It can't come back.
It can't come back.
Find the CBEX people right now.
You can't come back, right? Or they will say, okay, these people were paying into bank accounts. Let's have a regulation that would require banks, when you meet this criteria, report to this. It is after the fact that can happen. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So regulation will strengthen, but then guess what? Innovation will also continue. So before you get to that point of calling regulators, which they should have the laws, blah, blah, blah. The fact is that you need to protect yourself. You need to have that sense of responsibility and not feel like, the SEC is supposed to. SEC cannot be there when you're making that investment decision. SEC has told you that they're regulated entities. Did you put money there first and said, okay, I've put money here, but let me do this one? No. You carried all the money and put where nobody knows.
How can they then help you?
How can they help you?
How can they then help
that's
you?
another point. It means that before you invest in any venture, you have to ensure that they are regulated by, the regulators responsible for that
sector.
sector.
And I mean, there's, and I think maybe it's also important to understand that high return is a reward for high risk. And high risk means that there's a high chance that your money is going to disappear. So the higher the return, what they are telling you by that very high return is that there's a high chance that your money is going to disappear. So every time you see high return, that this is more than what every other person is offering. Now, for example, in Nigeria, rates are high. So it's 20%, 2025 is not out of the ordinary because rates are high. But when rates are like 2%, somebody's offering you 25, then you know that is high return. What they are telling you is that there's a high chance that your money is going to disappear. So it's important for people to know that, so that when it now happens, you just realize that's what
they actually
want
me.
They want you.
So, I mean, there might be someone somewhere who is actually on a website, just doing his research before he would invest in an MMM or a CBEX or something. So if you had 2 minutes to spend with that person and you were to talk that person out of that, making that kind of decision, right? What would you tell that person?
I think I'll say is that this amount of money you're putting in, what would happen if you lose the money? And can you live with it? So if it's school fees money, it's different from money to buy a car. Worst case, you take bus and you'll be sober.
Or you follow your friend,
Do you
colleague,
understand?
all
You will
those
manage.
Mm.
But if it is that you gathered money to go for masters, you now put it there. So this money, don't just look at it as naira and kobo. What is it supposed to do in your life? And if that thing does not happen, what will be the impact? If you can live with that impact,
Then go ahead.
If you can really live, because sometimes people say nothing, they won't process it well. But if you can really live with that impact, right? Maybe it's your children's school fees, and you know that if this money goes, there's nowhere to touch.
Children will just be literally literate.
Do you understand? So the question is, this money, if it goes, what happens? Like, can you live with it? If you can't, then reduce the amount. Then come down to where you can afford to throw the money away. Don't put money you can't afford to throw away. Don't put money that is critical. And I say that because I will first of all tell you that this thing is scam. This is Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah.
But if you choose not to, that's the next question, because people don't used to hear like that.
Because people have died.
Times like that,
Yes,
some people's ears
Kill
become
themselves.
a thing of decoration. They don't
People
want to-
have died that they put 100 million, the money disappeared.
Yeah,
They've gone to kill
suicide
themselves.
and
Where do you want them to start from?
I had the lady who took like her church savings and put in M&M
happened.
back in the day.
It happens though.
You know, and then
Because
was
church
looking
has
for her.
welfare.
Yeah.
You have welfare, people that handle your money. You have accountants. You have all
But
these
what was
people.
she doing? She wanted to make a quick buck.
Yeah,
They
you
should
know.
hold her.
They should arrest her.
Yes, because
Arrest
was not
her
going to go to the
for
church. also.
bridging the contract that you have with the house of the Lord.
All right, so we've had a very, very interesting session.
No, but before you close off the show, we have to obviously identify real investments that people can put in their money
Sure.
and say, okay, bad as a bad. I'm not seeing where I want to be, but at least this is where I am and I'm
take you there.
content.
Okay, so I would just start with things that with your 5,000 naira you can start with your 10K, and of course, as you have more, you continue. So the stock market is actually good. The stock market is slow money. That's what we need to understand. Stock market is not kalu that you drop money to produce for you.
Yeah.
You'll get your dividends along the way, but buy good stocks. Buy good companies that you can see. The cue is what companies are making money. What companies will always be there making money. That's where you will go.
Okay.
Because that's where they will get the money to pay you dividend.
Yeah.
Thing is, there are bonds, right? Now, generally, bonds, the minimum to buy directly from the government is 50 million. But there's this Nigerian savings bond. It comes up every quarter. Every month, rather. It comes up every month. And with your 5,000 naira, you can start. The rates are good also. So that's savings bond. Then, you guys have your subsidiaries that have funds.
Mutual funds and all of that.
Right?
Yeah.
So even if you don't know what to do,
You have people that can guide you
can
there.
have people that can guide you as a start. Then, of course, there's real estate. Real estate in different expressions of it, right? Those are viable investments. Before you go into the grander ones of venture capital, but I always like to tell people something as simple as there's a woman that sells akara beside your house. She has been there for 10 years. She always shows up every morning. And her akara finishes before the people buying it.
Yeah.
What's it called? That means she could have sold more if she had more akara to sell.
Yeah.
Right? That 50K, you can tell her, if I give you 50K, we'll buy additional pots, buy additional this, buy oil,
Firewood, everything.
and you'll be sharing the money every day. Is
She'll
that
be
a
so
deal?
grateful to you.
She'll be so grateful to you. And guess what? Maybe 5K, 10K can be coming in every day from that 50K. That is an investment.
It is.
That is an investment. So I'm also saying, look around you, small things that you can do that you would support someone, but in the end, of course, there are stories around it. So you have to look well. You have to be sure.
Because there are some people that will, tomorrow you wake up, you want to go and buy a akara.
She will not be
They
there.
moved.
Yes, but that's why you will buy the pan, and you're not giving her the money. You will go with her to buy everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's all
Oil,
right. Do you understand? That's
beans,
risk management.
Wait, no. What I'm even saying is that if you buy all these things, you have your normal work, right? You buy pan, you buy oil, everything, you give it to the woman, yes or no?
And you give it to her now.
So what if you wake up one morning and want to come and buy the akara, she'll carry the pan, oil, everything and run away.
But she has been there for 10 years. You see, I
so
started
it's
with...
unlikely.
So fair.
So do you get? So that's what I'm saying. You have to look well.
Fair,
it's not
fair,
somebody
fair.
come tell you, okay, I have a dream. I didn't say that so because that's where people get caught, right? But I'm just saying the mindset around opportunities around you, right? Food is what people that are going to work will always buy
Of course.
on the way.
Yeah.
She's at a good corner. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's I've analyzed it as a business for
Yes.
you, right? So
And then, like you said, that 5K coming in every
Something,
day.
yeah.
something.
Another thing you touched on earlier was, consistency with respect to investments. Say you're locking in a certain amount every month. So there are people whose cash flow would not allow them to do that on a consistent basis. They probably get paid, say some huge sums, maybe like 4 times a year, 5 times a year. For those kind of people, can they also enjoy compounding the way the people who
Yes.
do monthly can enjoy it?
Yes. So I usually I had this tool on my channel where it would assess ask you a couple of questions and decide on the type of the way you should save. For someone who has inconsistent income, then you should be your plan should be that every income that comes, there's a certain percentage I
That
put
you
away.
remove.
Yes, so you can't have like I'm going to be putting 5K every month
Yeah.
because your money doesn't come that way. But you can say that savings money is 20% of every income I make because I know that money is supposed to take me for the next 4 months, for example. I just get my 20% invest, right? And of course, once that investment returns come in, you put it back, you don't eat it, right? And then because you are not someone, I mean, this is going into personal finance advisory, but you're not someone who has steady cash flows, then some of those investments should be in things that if you need to fall back on cash, you can easily convert to cash, right? So that's the reason. With that, you'll be fine.
All right. We know you are the founder of the Money Wit Club. So tell us what you guys do at the club.
Okay, so the Money Wit Club is one of the expressions of the Money Wit Circle. So we have 3 things. We have media, we have school, and then we have the club. So the media is we have YouTube, podcast. We used to have a radio show.
Oh, that's nice.
We just financial education on media, right?
and we
Then we
need
have
that.
the school where we'll train companies, we'll do workshops, basically helping people put their finances in order. So all these questions, what do I do? And what is a bond? What is a stock? What does the central bank say? What does this mean for me? Education. So that's the school. And then the community. We found that after you teach people just want to say, okay, what do I put my money in? So the community is where we would invest, right? So we would find deals. We've invested in movies that have gone to video on demand companies. We've invested in property in Nairobi. So we just find a viable deal, analyze,
and then people join in.
People would. So we don't even necessarily have to be do a collective thing. It's just this is where you can invest if you have the money, go into it type thing. But it just keeps people aware. So that's literally what we do. So we believe in learning and taking action. So we have the full learning to taking action. Business model.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm
So
your
that means for
audience.
people who struggle, there are people who say that there are people, okay, let me not even go into that class. Just speaking broadly now. Many people who do not know how to manage their finances.
I just said I'm her audience.
Sorry. So, if there are people who are struggling to manage their finances, people who do not have so much knowledge about financial literacy and all these things, is your club open to...
Yes, our club is open to everyone. Our club is
Okay.
open to everyone. We have workshops. So, we have a workshop coming up very soon. You can
that's
follow
nice.
up.
Okay.
And basically what it is you see that whole being able to connect where you are to where you are
Yes.
going. It's something that would help you sit down and say, based on where you have, because you have to sit down and decide where you are going.
Yeah.
For you to understand why it is important. If you enter the car and you say, Google, take me, Google will say where.
Where? Yeah.
You will have to put location or you switch on your GPS for you to say, okay, we are here. This is where you are going. I'll now create the map. So you see, you need to sit down. And I think a lot of people don't do that, where they actually sit down and take out all the noise and say, okay, if they give me $10 million, would I really buy a Bugatti? No. So you can be shouting, I want a Bugatti, but do I really
When you
want
see
it?
that money liquid
Do I
in
really
your
want
hand,
it? So you need to actually sit down and say, what do I really want for myself? Some people legitimately want to retire and go to their villages.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And some people want to retire to Switzerland.
Yeah.
So, and they are both valid, right? So what do you want? Where are you going? And then we'll now say, this is how you will get there. So we have those kind of workshops, right? And it's very practical. It's not theory. It's like answer the question, right?
Yeah.
And give clarity. And then once people have that, then they can now take action, which is, for you to do this, you need to be putting away this type of money. And they're like, where am I going to get this money? Okay, you need to upskill. So it begins to make you think back and question your laziness.
Like, exactly what are you doing with your time?
What are you doing with your time? Or how can you upskill? Or they gave you sometimes some people will have this offer for the next level of promotion at work, but like, no, it's too much work. I'm fine where I am.
Yeah.
It's because they've not sat down to think, where am I going?
No.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the kind of things that that we work on. Of course, people can reach out. We have programs, products, tools, resources, learnings, YouTube channel, free stuff, paid stuff.
Okay, but where like the best 2 places to contact you?
The best 2 places would be LinkedIn and Instagram to contact me as a person.
No, but
LinkedIn.
your foundation.
For the club.
Your club.
For my
rather.
club.
Yeah.
My club will still be LinkedIn. And
On
except if you want
Instagram.
to drop an email, which sounds very dramatic.
No,
but-
not exactly.
So you guys,
So
I
if
mean,
you
you can
just
check out our
tell us
website,
the-
but you wouldn't contact me on my website to see stuff.
Yeah.
But to send a message that we can respond to.
Yeah.
Instagram.
And what's the handle?
The Money Wit Club. So THE money. Everybody knows how to spell money.
Yes.
Then wit, WIT. Wit
Yeah.
is sense. WIT club.
Okay, the Money
Yes.
Wit
So
Club.
what inspired the club, really?
So I mean, it started off because I had a YouTube channel. I started a YouTube channel during
Okay.
COVID.
Oh, nice.
And that was because I realized that a lot of people struggled financially during that period.
Yes, they did.
Because there were some things that I just thought was no. Of course you should save. Of course, there's so many of course that
Yeah.
you would see people who earn well, but they struggled. And I just realized that the basic things that I thought people
Were normal.
Common sense,
like
yeah.
people didn't really know. So I started a YouTube channel. And then I would explain bonds, explain stocks, explain funds, explain this. And then literally someone called me and I said, Ola, this thing you are saying, that can you take my money and do it for? I said, no, I'm not going into asset management. I don't want a license. Thank you.
No.
I said, okay, but other people have comments. Can't you create your own? I'm like, no, I'm not thinking about that. Please, you should not stress me. And then she said it. Another person called. I said, well, let's start a community. So I just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a community, 20 people. I'm not doing menu. I don't want my TV. I don't want stress, but let's see how it goes. And that's how it started, and it was just basically education and access to opportunities. So literally the way the club works is I might not be the one finding the deal. If I remember, I might find this deal and you bring it and say, what do we think? Sometimes people have brought deals. They are so excited. By the time people just punch holes in it, they were like, oh my God, was I sleeping? Like, no, it was emotions. You just needed logic, which is why I was saying that if you have something in front of you, go and meet people that are not vested in it to critique it for you because there's no sentiment. This doesn't make any sense. Do you understand? So that's how the club is. So you literally bring all sorts of deals from around the world, Canada, everywhere. We have members around the world also.
Wow, that's nice.
Saudi Arabia,
Wow.
like
Everywhere.
random places, Europe. Yeah, we have members. So because there's financial literacy is a global problem.
Yeah.
It's a human problem.
It is a
honestly.
human problem.
I'm like, that her friend, just take the money, please, and help me. I really don't want to know what it is, but just help me
But you need to.
make it. Yeah, but of course I need to. Of course. Because when you start obviously like having kids, you need to. What do you want to tell your child?
Yeah.
That, this investment
There's
I
one
did, I
auntie
just
somewhere
told
that
one
always-
auntie, take this money and do this thing. So like, cause obviously they will come to you with that type of advice as well.
Yeah.
You need to know what to tell them.
Tell them. Very
So
true.
before we wrap up our show, there's something we always do. There's a phrase. The name of the podcast is To Be Quite Honest, right? So we would say, to be quite honest, what is one thing you would like everybody to know? Right? So I would go, to be quite honest, and then you complete it. Are you ready? All right. So to be quite honest,
No one can go to the gym for you and you'll be fit. No one can eat vegetables on your behalf and you'll be
Period.
healthy.
Yeah.
don't leave me, don't leave me.
You can't outsource your health and your finances.
Yeah.
You always have to engage.
Mm.
And
So
that's
please engage.
that's on
And
period.
that's on period. Wow, that was really
That touched us while we were here.
Yeah.
Because if I could actually give someone my body to work out, please help
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But nobody
I think
can
those are
do
two
that.
very important areas.
Very,
that you can
very,
Yes.
health
very,
and
And
very.
finances.
finances.
And you're really your health and your finance. That's wow.
Ola, thank you so much for dropping such
Yeah.
gems, honestly.
Thank you for
And thank you for
having me.
gracing us with your presence.
Thank
I
you.
genuinely enjoyed today's
Enjoyed it.
conversation. And I genuinely hope our, audience at home enjoyed this conversation as much as Ben and I did.
Yeah.
It was honestly an eye-opener. Even though me, I've never fallen for the Ponzi scheme, but honestly, just grounding yourself and just understanding that life is a journey, honestly.
Yeah.
It takes one to know. But thank you so much, Ola, for
Thank you
coming.
having me.
And we are signing out. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.